What's up, my dudes? My name is Sister Turley, and this is a track review of the Kawasaki Test Track. So this is actually a pretty interesting track right here. It's got a lot of really cool rhythms and stuff on it where you can kind of like jump through a corner, if you know what I'm saying. It's got a lot of really cool sections and stuff, like you can triple this, and then you triple again, then you can quad this, and then you can like jump through this corner, okay, and then you can like triple quad something right there, and then you keep jumping all the way to this big triple. It's pretty crazy because you go through like two entire corners without ever ending your rhythm section. So I just love sections like that. There's a few tracks out there that have jumps and stuff like that where you can kind of like jump through a corner and like continue your rhythm all the way through a corner. That's one fun thing to do on this game. It's very challenging, but when you can find sections like that, dude, there's no better feeling. Like, it's insane. I don't know, it's just, there's no other feeling like that, you know. I don't know, it's just a lot of fun, but you really got to have a lot of brain power to think about rhythms that are like that too. So it's right up my alley. I love big sections like that. So a lot of times tracks they consider you cutting the track though when you kind of like jump to the side like that in a corner, so you got to be kind of careful of that. But as long as you're not like jumping directly over the tough blocks or the hay bales, then usually you're going to be okay. But you gotta be careful of that sometimes, because you'll finish a race or something and it'll be like, oh, you cut like 50 seconds all because you were like barely off the track slightly over one little jump in a corner. So you got to be careful of that. But this is definitely a fun track though, man. Whoa, did a little front flip action right there, but you guys can see it right here. I mean, it's amazing looking in the environment. You kind of get that like you're out in the middle of nowhere, like the woods is all around you and stuff. It's like kind of got like a private compound kind of vibe to it, so it's definitely cool, and I love this track. It's one of those tracks where it seems like when you ride and you practice on this track and then you go to any other track, like you're automatically faster for some reason. I don't know why this track is like that, but there's a few of them out there like that where they just, I don't know if it's the ground decal or the way the jumps are built or the way the whoops are or what it is, but this is definitely one of those tracks where like if you practice on this for a while and then you like go ride on anything else, it's like you're all of a sudden faster for some reason. I don't know if that's just me or what, but that's what happens when I ride on this track. I think it's more on those tracks that feel a little bit more loamy or sandy, and that's kind of how this track feels right here, because you really like get the feeling of spinning the bike around in the corners and stuff. So it makes it to where like you can do that on hard pack stuff, so then you get faster on other kinds of dirt textures and stuff like that. So it's definitely cool, and the whoops on this track are pretty legendary. I'm just gonna say that right now. Like, you got to pretty much hit them wide open in 4th or 5th gear on a 450, and you don't bog down. So that should tell you how fast you're actually hitting them. Like, they're pretty gnarly, man. So, but like when I've noticed when I ride on the whoops on this track, it actually makes every other whoop section like 3 times as easy. So like I'm saying, it's got a weird vibe to it where it's, when you practice on this track, it just makes everything else so much easier. And like I said, there's a few tracks out there like that I've noticed, like in my days of playing MX Simulator. There's a couple of them out there where it just, I don't know, they're just awesome for practicing. Like, it just automatically gives you more skill when you ride on a certain track. I don't know how to explain it, but this is definitely one of those tracks right here. So it's just a lot of fun. Let me play this back in some third person like this, and yeah, it's you guys can see the scenery. I mean, very cool looking, and just the trees off in the distance. Got the fence around the track, and then got all the cool power lines and stuff, and got a barn over there, got a house and whatnot. So all the scenery is definitely cool, and I do really like the berms on this track because they set you up perfectly for like the way the dirt actually feels. It's kind of got like a loamy feeling to it, so it's cool because your corners, like, you don't just have a ton of traction, so you can't just like rail around a corner. You got to be kind of a little bit smarter about how you get on the gas in the corners and stuff. So it's pretty cool because you can get like that perfect amount of slide going in the corners on this track. And I don't know, man, I love it. You can get in crazy flow, especially when you're doing those like jumps through the corners and stuff. So but yeah, definitely a solid track for practicing your whoops on though. Like, I can't say that enough about it, because there's 2 whoop sections that are just, they're crazy, man. Humongous whoops, long whoop sections. So it's great practice to give you that confidence to just hammer it down in pretty much any whoop section. So that's kind of what it does. But it's cool though. It has the interesting the way the jumps are built is not really like any other track out there, so it has that cool element to it. So I'm gonna give this track a 10 overall. I mean, I hate to give so many tracks a 10, but I have to, bro. Like, you just, I don't know, it's got it all, man. It's got the good scenery, good ground decal, got the unique jumps and everything. It's got it all, so gotta give it a 10, man. And I'm gonna say the difficulty is hard because these whoop sections are pretty crazy. So anyways, so I appreciate all you watching these videos, and I'll keep on making them. Peace.